Hi ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome back to this channel. If today is your first time of coming to this channel, I welcome you, and if you're a returning member, I welcome you as well. Today I'm going to be talking about how to set up a fish hatchery, especially if you're into catfish farming. So today we are going to be talking about fish hatchery, and by definition, what is an hatchery? Hatchery, or let me say a fish hatchery, is actually an artificial breeding place. It is a place where you artificially breed your fishes, because now we are talking about fish hatchery. Now there are also a lot of things to consider before setting up an hatchery. Some of those things you need to consider: site selection, water quality. You also need to consider the availability of water, not just the quality of water, but also the availability of that quality water. Now, when I say quality water, before you can certify that your water is fit for an hatchery farm, you need to have taken a lot of checks. You need to have undergone a lot of checks on that water. Otherwise, if you just have water in your bowl or in your well, and you think you are set to go, no, it goes beyond that. You need to carry out some tests, and some of the tests you are going to be carrying out is either physical or chemical tests. Now, when I say physical or chemical test, these are the tests you have to carry out, maybe by physical examination or by chemical examination. Now, part of what you're going to determine, and which is the common one, is your pH. By definition of pH is the degree of alkalinity or acidity of your water. So you have to know the category to which your water falls. If your water falls within the category of acidic section of the pH, or if your water is between the basic pH. Also need to know how toxic your water body is. If you don't determine that, then you might end up losing your fishes at the initial stage. Some of other things you also need to check with regards to both the physical and the chemical examination of your water is dissolved gases. You need to check the dissolved gases in your water body. Is it adequate? Do you even have the required dissolved gases? Those are the things you need to look at. You also need to check for the suspended solids in your water bodies. These are many more, and part of the many more I'm talking about is you also need to look at the temperature of your water. If your water is too cold, your hatchery will not do well, and if your water temperature is also too high, your hatchery will also not do well. Okay, we also have a lot of other things to determine. We can also determine the turbidity of your water, how clean your water is. You need to also determine that before setting up a multi-million naira or multi-million dollar worth of hatchery. These things will save you from biting your fingers at last. By the time you carry out all these checks before setting any hatchery up, you would know whether that vicinity or whether that area is actually adequate for setting up something of such. Okay, that being said, on water quality, I've told you site selection, I've told you water quality, and also part of what you need to consider before creating an hatchery is availability of broodstock. Availability of good broodstock. If you do not have a source for good broodstock, then you shouldn't consider having an archery facility set up, because without good broodstock, then you setting up an archery would be a waste. So you have to consider that as well. And another thing worthy of note is availability of the resources, the resources you are going to be using. Some people, they can use tarpaulin pond to hatch. Some people can create concrete pond. Some people as well can make use of plastic vats, while some people can use any other methods. It all depends on you. You also need to determine which one is available within your range and which one is cost effective. So if you are able to put that in place, you will be able to set up an ultra-modern yet profit-oriented hatchery. Another thing worthy of note before you create your hatchery is that you need to ask yourself this question, and the question you are asking yourself is there readily available market for my fingerlings? By the time you are through creating or making or breeding your fishes, do you have people willing to buy what you are making? Is it that you just make fingerlings, you just create juveniles for yourself? You need to also look at that. At the same time, the last one, which is not the least out of what you need to look for, is that you also need to look for availability of the feeds. There are many times people get stuck while feeding their fishes, but at some point they end up not seeing the feeds they are supposed to administer to their fries, to their fingerlings, to their juveniles. This thing you have to consider it before you start. You need to do your research, look for those feeds. Are they readily available? Is this something you have to store or you have to buy and keep before production? Are they close by? These are many more are the things you need to put in place. Then back to the water. I told you availability of adequate water. I want to believe you've already done the checks now. That water that you carry out checks upon, is it readily available? Is it something that if you need water right now, within split of seconds, you will get that same water? Or you have to carry out a lot of checks every now and then before you can get water? And may I send this as a note unto you. If you wish to have an hatchery, it is not advisable you use river water or sea water or whichever other type of water apart from a borehole water. You can use tap water if you know how to handle the chlorine level in that your water. But if you cannot handle the chlorine level in that water, I will advise you run away from a tap water. However, you can make use of a borehole water. Now, when I say borehole water, you must have already carried out all those checks on the water to certify that water is fit for an hatchery. Of course, you don't expect me to say everything in this video, so in case you think I'm missing out on some cogent points, feel free to ask me in the comment section below this video. And also, if you want to know more about this process of setting up an hatchery, feel free to contact me using the contact in my bio. You can contact me on WhatsApp or by phone call. I'm readily available. Maybe by the time I have like 100,000 subscribers, I'll be billing you for consultancy fee. That being said, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do the needful. Make sure you hit the red button, and also beside that red button, you're going to see a bell icon. So click on it and click on all so that you get notified anytime I upload newer videos. That being said, you know I love you. Stay safe. Bye for now.